Good morning. It's about 5:30 and I'm trying to be quiet because everyone else is still asleep and I'm about to head out for my first session of the day, and it's not for what you may assume. If you didn't know, I'm about to run my very first marathon. Alright, I don't have time to eat breakfast in the morning, so I'll wake up. I'm going to mix 1 scoop of Reburst. It has 18 grams of carbs. It has sodium and potassium. Then I'm going to mix 1 scoop of Recharge. It has about 120 milligrams of caffeine, plus the nitric oxide booster. Of course, I got my really sweet shaker cup they hooked me up with at the CrossFit Games. Headphones. Of course, we got my running hat, which is where my headlamp will go, because it's still dark outside. Just finished up my Recharge plus Reburst concoction for my morning fuel, and I did a little bit of reading while I waited to do my bathroom duties. In case you're not used to training or running early in the morning, that's one of the most essential parts. You got to time out that bathroom duty so then you get the freedom to go have a good workout. But I'll catch you back here in about an hour or so. All right, guys, so I just wrapped my morning session. Today it started with an easy 2-mile run, so 2-mile warm-up, where I disregard the pace, don't pay any attention to it. And then it was 4 miles with intentional gain of speed, meaning that I negatively split this workout, like the meat of it. So, mile 3 was faster than, of course, my first 2. Mile 4 was faster than mile 3. Mile 5 was faster than mile 4. Mile 6 was faster than mile 5. Then came off the path that I was running on and had another 2-mile cool down. And this is a great way for me to kind of build consistency with running volume, but also know that I can still hit different gears. This could appear as a test to me in my marathon when I think about running through some elevation points or inclines or declines, and what it will do to my legs and my heart rate. So it's optimal to kind of think about dialing in those different tempos and paces just to prepare me for what the stimulus might be, even when I don't necessarily have hills to train on. So great session this morning. On with the day. It's time for some fuel. What's up, guys? Just got fueled up, and today we are on our way down to FNX HQ. It's going to be a busy day. Got a few meetings, got some calls. Hopefully get about 45 minutes or so to do some strength training to accompany the interval work that I did this morning. I don't want to specifically become a great runner right now without further developing my fitness in other capacities. So I'm going to try my best to hold on to my strength throughout this training block, while also understanding there'll certainly be some compromise as I look to increase my running ability, specifically for 26.2 miles. So we're off to get the day started officially. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great one. All right, guys, so a little background too. I'm at this point in life where I'm not really prioritizing a ton of my recovery. HRV's hurting, you know what I'm saying? But it was still a productive session this morning. All right, so as you can see, this is the workout for today with the Garmin. It kind of shows total time worked. Distance traveled was 8 miles. But average pace was 8:29, even though I started really slow. Best pace was a 7:12 split. Mile 1 was at a 9:24 pace. That's me literally walking outside and getting the ball rolling. Mile 2 was at a 9:10 pace. Mile 3 is where we started to pick up the pace. Those are no longer warm-up laps, and I'm into kind of like my, I would say threshold pace for a long distance, which is an 8:20 pace-ish. Then mile 4 was 8:02. Mile 5 was 7:50. Then mile 6 was a 7:35 pace, and then I dropped back off for an 8:50, and then between an 8:50 and an 8:40 for the last 2 miles. So let's see what the perceived rate of effort was for me here. I'm gonna go ahead and give that it was moderate. I had some intervals, they were negative splits, but it never really got too nasty. We'll say it was a relatively strong performance, and that's what it looked like. Second supplements of the day. Gonna have my Recover, which are BCAAs, and And then I'm gonna also mix in some reburst. Now we're gonna go hit the gym, and I think we'll have a little crew over there today, hopefully at this time. A lot of people get free close to lunchtime, and we try to go get a little pump on.
You get to pick the pace of a half marathon though. You can just be like, easy day. This feels just right.
All right, guys. So back to the office, and I want to do this while it's fresh on my mind, kind of catch you guys up to speed. So I'm literally doing a full marathon. And the reason that I'm doing this full marathon is because it's something that I've never done in my entire life. Look, through 2021, I had the opportunity to make it back to the CrossFit Games as a master's athlete. It was more by happenstance, right? Like I've been training local athletes. I've been training athletes that work here with me. Chase Merrill's probably the one that most of you are familiar with if you've been following me for a while. I've got another athlete from Idaho, relatively close. Her name is Michelle Palmer. And nonetheless, I get to train with these athletes periodically. One of my goals this year was to be able to push them physically with my presence, with my work ethic, and those kind of things. It's because for me as a coach, while I feel some value in the way that I can cue, challenge your thought process, challenge the way that you might perceive a particular situation or a struggle, and then of course put together some pretty decent programming at the same time. Ultimately, I think my best advantage to creating growth for them is kind of by example. And I just say that because I know one thing that I am good at, and it's effort. With that being said, I had a wonderful year. It was amazing. I finished third at the CrossFit Games on top of the podium. It's really the highest finish in a big competition I've ever had as an individual. And so with that being said, it was awesome. And it reminded me how much I love to train specifically for something. And so coming off the CrossFit Games, I was like, cool, I'm gonna rest for a little bit, focus more, getting caught back up at FNX, focus on developing some of our programs out with True, Train to Rise Up. And I did so. And then at about a week and a half into it, I was like, man, I feel like I want something more. I want something new for this fall. So I started looking up marathons. It started with like a half marathon, and then a few people challenged me on social media by means of like, why would you ever run a full marathon? Don't do a full, that would be silly. So here I am, I signed up for a full. And I'm enjoying it. I just did a 16-mile run last week, but I want to start keeping you guys up to date on what my training looks like. And ultimately, I'm going to be launching a full marathon training program because of the way that I've been able to catch up to speed per se, feel like my body feels really good. I want to share this protocol, or at least the methodology that I've been putting into practice, with advice from several people for my marathon training specifically. And then I guess we'll see on October 9th how it plays out. I got a few long runs left. I got a lot of shorter interval-based runs left. And of course, I'm going to keep slanging and banging in the weight room. You guys probably just watched a little bit of what took place over there at the Elite Training Facility. It's one of my favorite places. Upper lower body splits, biceps, triceps, all the stuff that we can commonly really not have much time to train when we're training for the sport of fitness like CrossFit. But I'd love to get your thoughts below. I want you to comment below, in fact, and I want you to educate me on your favorite way to train. Are you a CrossFitter? Do you like aesthetic approaches? And if you do like aesthetic approaches, do you do upper lower splits? Do you do total body every day and focus more on frequency versus intensity? Or are you just in the gym a couple times a week? Or do you say, Adrian, I'm only watching this video because it said something about a marathon and I'm an endurance racer / runner / aficionado, and boy, do I have a lot of things to teach UAC about the endurance community. And if you do, drop some knowledge bombs below, because I'd love to hear more about that, as I am a newbie and learning a lot in this space. But nonetheless, guys, thanks for tuning in. Of course, you can always do me a personal favor by subscribing to this. We're going to be dropping an episode every single week all the way through my marathon, and then hopefully even into the fall as we start to get ready for the CrossFit Open that's going to be coming very quickly in February. Guys, above all else, keep doing your thing. Keep challenging yourself, because then you'll keep rising.